Light my sobrani, you wicked thing, which must have been some kind of cigarette. In the evening, dinner outdoors among the orange and lemon trees, wearing pants like these, cool, delicious flow of silk against skin. The colors make a person look more tanned. Silk palazzo pants, favored on the posh coasts of Europe and in America too, where Hollywood leading ladies drove the studios nuts at first by wearing them in public. Pure silk crepe de chine in a wide leg cut, very slimming, lots of drape and movement, fitting darts front and rear, 6 pearl shell button on left side seam. No waistband or pockets to mar the clean look imported. So the language creates a picture that you imagine. Your imagination is engaged, you see, by print, by words. The next one, to a T, I'm going to read also, which is always nice to do a little research in the field. As Thornton Wilder put it, there's nothing like eavesdropping to show you that the world outside your head is different from the world inside your head. I'm always pleased with the discovery. The conversation surrounding the not-so-simple T-shirt in various high to higher end stores to ridiculous end stores went like this. My Yorkie couldn't fit into this. Great cut. You'd think they'd make it in short sleeves. Would it be too much to expect in black? If this were just a tad longer, I'd love it. Did you see the price on this? Now this is perfect. Perfect T-shirts for women. Soft Pima cotton and a little stretchy stuff to keep you looking neat. Rounded neck with 1/4-inch trim. Cut a bit longer. Slightly fitted, not boxy. Fits the way you want a T-shirt to. Okay, so this is the kind of language that is possible in catalogs. Fast forward now to Cabela's, another outdoors company. You can see I'm taking the catalogs that I get and putting them online for you. So this is when you open the front of the Cabela's catalog. What do you see? And this you can see is really pretty old. And it shows you the new stuff. It shows you an index and where to find things. So the beginning of the catalog, the front page, the index is to draw you in somehow and involve you. And this is very different from selling on a website because the content's already been chosen and it's finite. It ends. You know, you can look at every darn thing in the catalog and put it down. And gee whiz, do you really think you can look at everything on a Cabela's website or on the website of your favorite retailer? I mean, how long would it take? Oh, my Lord. I don't even want to think about it. So it's a finite, kind of controlled, edited experience, drawing you in somehow and helping you find the things you're the most interested in. And, of course, direct marketers can tailor the content and the types of merchandise shown to fit your interest because you're in their database. They know what you bought before. Here's the back of the catalog I got. You see my name up there and my address in Riverdale. By the way, you see my customer number. You see a code for this particular catalog. And once again, you see a lifestyle scene being shown. Use of family using some of the products in the summer that are being featured. Lots of successful online retailers still publish catalogs and still have retail stores too, or have started retail stores. So catalogs still going strong, like other direct mail, filling less cluttered actual mailboxes than email boxes, and getting a controlled, beautifully color reproduced experience, sometimes with some wonderful language, in the consumer's hands to order. Co-op mailing is a pretty interesting phenomenon. I'm sure most of us have gotten these. It's an envelope full of individual coupons mostly for local retailers, dry cleaners, pizza shops, garages, all kinds of local local liquor store, often giving you some cents off, etc. So we've looked at just a couple of types of direct mail. The classic direct mail piece, the little self-mailer, catalogs, and very, very quickly co-op mailings. So it's a print medium. Here are the advantages. It can be targeted. Catalogs and direct mail pieces can be changed to show different products based on what you think the person's going to be interested in. You can do testing with direct mail and all direct mail types, catalogs and everything else. You can test the different envelope, you can test different offers, and because remember, this is accountable media. This is media that are supposed to produce sales results. So you can read whether a different offer will give you a lift, for instance, in sales results. So this kind of testing is not always possible in other media types, and often it isn't, because you're not really measuring sales results. A lot of depth of sale in direct mail or a catalog. I can sit there and read it all day. I mentioned the uncluttered mailbox. There's also great color reproduction in all these direct things, just the best. Well, disadvantage is it's really expensive on a CPM basis. There are also some environmental issues in terms of the paper that's being used and the mail. It's the fact that it's a physical item that's, trucked around and uses power and things like that. In terms of the cost per thousand, given the fact you've got to put a stamp on it, you've got to print it on paper, etc., you're looking at a direct mail CPM. Cost per thousand goes from $500 to $1,000 per thousand. Oh my goodness, 50 cents to $1 per item for direct mail pieces or catalogs. It's the most expensive that I can think of type of marketing, other than actual business-to-business selling, where you're paying a saleswoman, for instance, to entertain a client and buying the client lunch or whatever. And you're paying the salary of the salesperson, and they can only call on 50 clients. And you look at the mathematics of that, and your cost per thousand is a lot higher with that. But other than that, with in terms of standard mass market media, this is most expensive. And so we looked at the CPM. Quality of impression is going to be very high. Okay. Again, I've said it, I think, a number of times. Maybe probably don't need to repeat it again. The quality of the impression is very, very high, and that's one reason why it's so expensive. What's the difference in the shopping experience of a catalog versus a website? I touched on it a little bit, but you may want to think about that a little bit on your own. Okay. I'm now going to start to discuss magazines. And we think of magazines as being printed items, but they are also digital items. Most of them have websites. Scarlett Johansson. What's the definition of a magazine? A print periodical containing miscellaneous pieces such as articles, stories, poems, often illustrated, like a fashion magazine, gardening magazine. And it also refers to that periodical when it's published online. I look at it like this. This to me is a nice way to sum up kind of what a magazine is. It's always has been a way to spend leisure time. Reading and viewing content selected by someone with a consistent point of view that you like. If you subscribe to it, you like the content, you like the point of view. A printed magazine is easily transportable, saved, and shared. It is usually published monthly or weekly with a lead time in terms of getting the content and how long it takes between getting the content and getting it published. And it's sold primarily on a subscription basis, although there are newsstand sales. This is spending in the U.S. The blue column shows actual spending from 2017. The darker column is projected ad spending for 2021. It's by medium and it's in billions. You'll see magazines kind of in the middle at 16.6 billion in ad spend, pretty much projected to be flat for the next few years, but it has been going down pretty significantly, just the way newspapers and other printed media type has been going down. In terms of worldwide, the magazines are the dark gray piece, 2012 on the left, 2015 on the right. And you can see they went from 8.6% of overall ad spending to 6.9% between 2012 and 2015. So again, magazine ad spending is definitely on a decline. Before we go more into magazines, if this were a live class, I would have asked all of you to bring in magazines, preferably one you subscribe to, one you like reading. You bring in the print edition, because we'll just kind of focus on print a little bit here. And I would call on or ask for volunteers to stand up in front of the class to talk about the magazine and their relationship with it, and answer these questions before the class, and then all of us kind of talk about these things. Why do you read the magazine? How do you read it? From front to back? Do you go to the table of contents and look for the articles you want? How long do you typically keep the magazine? Do you share it with someone? What ads do you notice and why? What makes you stop to read an ad? Where in the magazine are you more likely to notice an ad? This idea, by the way, of your placement or position in the magazine is a key negotiation item in any magazine buy, because it makes a big difference in your effectiveness. Because remember, it is very easy for your ad to be missed in a magazine. How much unpaid versus paid content? Now, there is a lot of earned media placement in magazines. They have a lot of pages to fill, typically, even more than newspapers, I think. And they want to give the reader something to read that they're paying for. They don't want it to be a skinny little magazine and make it look skimpy. So the editors of different areas of content are normally open to press releases and any real news about products that they think will be of interest to the readership. So there's always a very, very good opportunity for public relations placements in magazines. Why is print a good medium for direct response? I'm not really so sure it is, frankly. But anyway, is there a corresponding website with the magazines you like? And do you also go on the website, or you just pretty much stick with the printed edition? So things to think about in terms of magazines. Because magazines, even versus newspapers, if you really like and subscribe to one and you like to look at it, I'd say the reader has kind of a unique relationship with that content and with that media vehicle that makes a magazine kind of special versus other media types. We're now going to look a little bit at the history of magazines, and I've kind of purloined a PowerPoint I found online. Let's stop now, and we'll start up again with a brief look at the history of magazines.